Inside every Aries, beneath the fire and the forward motion, beneath the bold beginnings and fearless leaps, there is a quieter voice, one that doesn't shout but aches. That is your shadow. The part of you that confuses action with worth. That avoids stillness because it might reveal a pain you don't want to name. You came into this world to lead, to blaze trails, to be the first to say yes when no one else dares to move. But your shadow speaks when things slow down, when the excitement fades, when there's no battle left to fight and you are left with nothing but yourself. Suddenly you don't know how to just be, because your identity has been so wrapped up in momentum that you forgot rest is not the enemy. Your shadow is impulsive, reactive, quick to strike when hurt and quicker to run when vulnerable. It shows up as defensiveness when softness is asked, of you as anger when fear is really at the root, as independence that isn't about freedom but about never having to depend on someone who might let you down. You carry this ancient wound that says if you pause, you'll lose. If you stop, they'll forget you. If you open up, they'll use it against you. So you keep moving, louder, faster, brighter, hoping that if you keep going, no one will notice how deeply you crave safety, not just excitement. In relationships, your shadow shows up when you demand loyalty but struggle to give emotional presence. When you test love with conflict instead of communication. When you equate attention with affection and mistake control for care. You may push people away before they get too close, then resent them for the distance. Or expect them to read your fire as love without offering the warmth that sustains it. Your soul wants to connect, but your shadow fears that connection might mean compromise, and compromise sounds like losing, so you choose solitude, even when your heart is screaming to be seen. Your wound is tied to being dismissed, ignored, not chosen, and so now you need to win everything. Every argument, every opportunity, every heart. Not because you want the trophy, but because you need to feel like you matter. And you don't yet know how to feel that without the chase. Your daily life reflects your shadow when you burn yourself out trying to be productive, when you shame yourself for needing rest, when you panic in quiet moments because they feel like failure. But the healing begins when you realize that your worth is not in your doing, it's in your being. Your energy is not infinite just because your spirit is fiery. You're allowed to be tired, to sit, to stop. Your body is not a machine and your fire is not a resource for others to consume. Spiritually, your shadow avoids surrender because surrender sounds like weakness, like loss of power, like a trap. But your soul is learning that true strength lives in stillness, that peace is not a cage, and that surrender is not giving up. It's allowing what is meant for you to find you without the fight. Your shadow tries to manifest through force, through will, through sheer effort. But the universe doesn't respond to struggle. It responds to belief, to clarity, to aligned action that doesn't need to push because it trusts the pull. Emotionally, your shadow shows up as heat without direction, as frustration that masks, sadness as rage that masks disappointment. Your healing comes when you allow yourself to cry instead of explode, to speak instead of shut down, to be held instead of holding everyone else at a distance. Your childhood may have taught you that vulnerability is dangerous, that expressing needs is weak, but the loudest gets heard and the fastest survives. But now your soul is asking you to slow down enough to feel what's underneath the armor. Because underneath it is a heart that's been fighting for room to breathe for a long time. Your relationships begin to change when you stop performing and start revealing, when you say I'm scared instead of I'm fine, when you say I need you instead of acting like you don't care. Your shadow fears dependence, but your healing begins when you see interdependence as strength, not surrender. Your power does not diminish when you let others support you. It expands. Your decision-making often comes from urgency, from instinct, from the immediate now, and your shadow convinces you that any delay means defeat. But real wisdom comes from the pause, the breath, the ability to wait and still feel worthy. Motivation. For you is driven by passion and the need to prove, but your soul is learning to move from joy, not defense, from inspiration, not insecurity. Your shadow pushes, your spirit guides. Learn the difference. Your aesthetic may be bold, strong, fire-forward, but your true beauty lives in the contrast, in the softness you're afraid to show, in the moments where you are not conquering anything, but allowing yourself to feel everything. Your body needs movement, yes, but it also needs touch, rest, recovery. Not just fuel, but nurturing. Not just action, but awareness. Forgiveness for you is difficult because it feels like letting someone win. But your healing begins when you realize forgiveness is how you reclaim your own fire, not how you give it away. Aries, your shadow speaks in urgency and armor, but your truth whispers in stillness and trust. When you learn to love the part of you that isn't fighting, isn't proving, isn't rushing, you discover a new kind of power. The kind that cannot be taken because it no longer needs to be earned. I hope these words bring clarity and inspiration to your day, my dear stargazers. Remember, the stars guide, but you hold the power to shape your destiny. Now I'd love to hear from you. Did today's words resonate with you? Share your thoughts, experiences, or even your own cosmic insights in the comments below. Let's create a little community of starlight and support because together, we shine even brighter. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more daily cosmic guidance. Until next time, keep dreaming big and manifesting magic.